Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, guys? It's Apollo here, and welcome back to Third Age Total War Reforged. And oh my god, it's already beginning, so we gotta do some slow motion here. I welcome thee to CARN DUM. So this is actually, well, if you've seen my older CARN DUM videos, it actually looks quite different. So this is kind of updated version, and I actually like this one a lot more. So you can see that it's much more spacious. So it's not just two choke points the defenders have to hold. There's actually multiple choke points the players are going to have to hold, which will make it far more interesting, more tactical, and more exciting. Also, it looks fantastic. The walls look great. You can get on the walls here. They are functional. They work. You can put archers up here. So it's going to be a good old fight. Now, we do have some evil factions taking on some good factions. So we got a classic good versus evil. And I know that kind of challenges your agenda. I know you guys are all about that defenders never win kind of agenda you got going on there. But whenever it's the evil guys defending and the good guys attacking, then you get all like confused and you're like, well, who do I root for? Are the defenders or the attackers? Because most people defend or like root for the defenders. But when it's the good guys attacking, it challenges your beliefs. So who are you voting for today? You can vote right there. You want the defenders to win or the attackers? So, also, another thing that I love about this map, look at this right here. This is a cave troll like cage, or cave troll cage, or something like a troll cage. And look what's in it. Look at this guy. Look at this poor guy. Oh, this poor guy. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. I know I should be laughing. He's got like a family and stuff, but this is hilarious. This is just stuff you would never see in the newer Total Wars. Like, this is why I love Medieval 2. It's so moddable. You can add so much like spice to it. Anyways, let's go ahead and look at the factions here. This cab, by the way, the Warlords of Umbar, charging through. By the way, Sin of the Dark Cloud leading the forces of Umbar, being very aggressive here, going after weak forces, weak troops. Not weak troops, but vulnerable troops to cab charges. He's quickly trying to get them through these pikes or spearmen. His ally is actually Harad, commanded by Clueless. Let's hope he's not clueless on the battlefield, because he's gonna need, some clues, right? He's gonna need some intelligence in defending this, because they are heavily outnumbered. It is a 3 versus 2. So the first army is Arthedain, commanded by Luluzer, which is actually his name. So yeah, he's got some great forces here. Again, Arthedain, very powerful, very similar to Arnor. And then over on this side, we have Cardalin, which is one of the provinces of Arnor when they were united, commanded by Papa Stalin. So he's got great infantry as well. Usually the human factions tend to be very solid in terms of heavy infantry. And then over on the other side, I believe this is also Loser's army. Yes, it is. Then we have the third and final army, which is Dol Amroth, or Dol Amroth. Commanded by new player 195, and this faction is nasty. Not only do they look like saint-like, they're like heavenly forces with the bright white and baby blue, but they're very, very deadly. And they've got civilians with them. That doesn't seem like a good idea. But yeah, he's got great forces here that are gonna wreak some havoc. So let's go ahead and do normal speed and see what happens with this cab unit over here, which they're storming across, and they are able to get past the spearmen. What are they going for, though? Are they going for the men-at-arms? Like, I just don't know, like, what's the thing that this player, like, Sin is trying to accomplish here, Like, what is he trying to get? It looks like he might be trying to go for the archers, but they're so heavily protected. Now we have the defending artillery letting loose their shots, and look how cool this is. Look at this shot right here. That's fantastic, seeing the brave men of Arnor. And now we've got some Cardalin mercenary cav coming over to support their ally in defending against this warlord of Umbar. Now they're changing targets. They're like, you know what, he's too prepared over there. Let's switch over to the second half of his army and maybe go for some archers or something that it's going to be vulnerable. We got spears going to the gate. Now, if we do look, I didn't show you the exact layout of this map. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 3 gates in the opening, like, outer perimeter wall, which is going to be tough to maintain. Also, we've got one, let's see, a second one major entrance here, and then the third over here. So another 3 entrances they're going to have to defend. And then for the final stand, there's only 2 entrances. So it gets a little easier as they fall back, but that doesn't mean they should just give up the outer walls. I think they should hold them because they can use the walls, set up their archers, because one thing about having walls is that they can work both ways. As in, the attackers can take the walls, put their archers up here, and fire at the defenders that are kind of down in the road area, in the lower areas. So it's really important that you defend these walls the best you can. Some artillery hitting their own walls, which is not great. But the soldiers here, the swordsmen, going up the towers. And I love the fact that they're not in it right away because it makes it lighter and easier to push. I don't know if there's a little glitch going on here. Looks like he is struggling to get this one to the wall. Do they have another ram? They don't have another ram, but they do have a ram over here. And they have the siege towers pushing as well. Get that ram going. Where is that cav? What happened to that cav? Did they send it back? Looks like he did send it back into the city because here they are right here. Which you can tell it's them because they're all bloodied up because they were hit with arrows and whatnot. So Sin's attempt there, attempt to sally out. I like that attempt. I think it was you know, a good move, but nothing came out of it. And that's just kind of the risk reward kind of thing with those kind of, you know, those sally outs, trying to get people by surprise. But it looks like the attackers were ready for that type of assault. Now we have the swordsmen scaling the walls, and finally we have the first group of swordsmen taking the walls of CARN DUM. And then over on this side, finally the ram is being pushed forward. He is using bandits to push up the ram. That's actually really smart because they are a lower quality troop, so losing them is not that big of a deal early on. It's more cannon fodder than anything else. So they're going to push up, get to this gate, and try to knock it down. We've got some archers here actually holding fire, not quite firing. Maybe they're just waiting for the more quality troops to get up here, which is smart. It's called, you know, using your ammo wisely, trying to take out the more, you know, the bigger threat type targets instead of wasting all your ammo. There we go. There we go. They've gotten the command to fire, and here we go. Fire! So they're going to go ahead and take out these Minas Rithian swordsmen, whatever. But they're heavily armored, so they can take quite a beating from these archers without going, you know, dropping too many numbers. But yeah, as soon as they get to these walls, it's going to be tough to kill them in close range. He's got more bandits over here pushing up some siege towers. And notice how the defenders are just focusing all their fire on this elite unit. That's really smart. They're not going after these bandits. They're just going after the heavy infantry. And they are starting to chip away at their numbers, which is great. So let's see what else is going on here. The gate is still open. The soldiers... Oh, look at this. Casimir's Legion coming up this way. Because we do have the Arthedain men-at-arms pushing actually the opposite side of where they first entered the walls. Oh, wait, no. Oh, wait a second. Wait, did they retreat? Did they retreat back to the siege tower? Or am I at the wrong area? Oh, the gate's down. Okay, so that's Cardolin's side. So once again, another opening that they're going to have to worry about. Okay. So yeah, nice fight over here. Let's see what else is going on. No troops yet have entered this side. They are about to scale the walls through the siege tower. Also have the ram knocking down the gate. But there's a lot of troops waiting for them. In fact, they're already fighting some forces. How is that possible? I assume they just went down from the wall, I guess? How did these guys get here? I'm confused. I'm so lost. But yeah, it looks pretty solid. Oh, they broke the Arthedain men-at-arms. So there you go, they're falling back. So yeah, I would wait until I got the gates down before really scaling those walls very aggressively. That way you're attacking on as many fronts as possible. But so far it seems like the defense is holding quite well against these attackers. And if you're rooting for the defenders, that's a good sign for you. We also have some Serpent Guard, so setting up some elite forces to hold these walls. Bandits going through the main gate. They're not going to get much done, but I like the effort. I like the effort. Now we've got some Muhad Berserkers holding these walls against the Minas Girthian Swordsmen. I'm just going to call them the Minas Swordsmen. Don't confuse that with Minas Tirith, because that's a whole different thing. So the great siege for CARN DUM is underway. There we go, pushing and pushing. More soldiers scaling the walls. This looks like it's going to be a victory here for the Castamir's Legion, unless Arthedain sends up more troops to the slaughter. And that's what it kind of feels like so far for these attackers, a slaughter. They just can't push back. Now, eventually they will, but how many lives will it cost? And here we go. This looks really promising. And Dol Amroth already has, I'm actually quite surprised, Dol Amroth already here with some forces. And these halberdiers are actually going to be able to do some pretty good damage against the defenders. This is actually really concerning for the defenders.
The enemy have ladders at the walls. Repel the attackers. Give them steel.
Give them steel. And it looks like Arthedain men-at-arms are also doing pretty well over here at this wall, overwhelming the Castamir's Legion, and defeat seems certain for them. So this is a losing battle, and this is the most promising side of the battle for the attackers in terms of breaking through and pushing back the defenders to the inner tiers of the settlement. Serpent Guard, though, they got some ladders here. Great to see that instead of just all siege towers. Then we've got, let's see, what are these? Men-at-arms, they're pushing up the ladder, ready to take on the Serpent Guard. Now, I'm pretty sure the Serpent Guard are better than the Men-at-Arms, but it's still very elite. It's a good unit from Dol Amroth, and they are going to put up a good fight, but they're probably going to have to send up more forces. Now we've got some Wardens going into the fight, so some nice spear units pushing up as well. Maybe not quite going into the fight, but they are... Oh, wait. Yeah, they are quite going into the fight. Let's see, or not. Let's see what they do here. It's a mess. It's a mess of forces. Okay, they are going into the fight. So they decided to send in all their spears against the Beligir footmen. So it's a bit of a spear war. These pikes, though, are going to be an issue, something you got to watch out for. You might want to challenge the pikes with archers or pikes of your own. Oh, look at this. Nice positioning here from the elite missile troops that I never pronounced correctly, so I'm not even going to try. But they've got a perfect angle. This is a strategy that I use all the time in Medieval 2 Vanilla, and obviously since this is a mod for Medieval 2, you can use it in 3rd Age. But I always call this strategy shooting fish in a barrel, because basically what you have here, the way to make this strategy work is that once the troops are stuck on the wall like this, you hold them back with a smaller force, maybe even a weaker force in terms of skill. Just hold them back for a little bit and let the archers pick them off. Like, especially if it's a very elite unit that's very deadly in close combat, we'll kill them from afar. Take them out from afar. But let's go ahead and look at other places of the battlefield. Again, it looks like things are going very well for the defenders over here. Also, nice, again, fish in a barrel. I don't recommend using fire arrows, but maybe he's trying to quickly break them and get them off the walls. And then over on this side, it looks like they are making some progress. Cardalin making some progress, but it seems like they're holding elsewhere. And they also have some archers, look at that, right over the heads of their swordsmen and their spearmen that are defending the gate, firing over in killing these pikes who are moving up. Let's see if he fully pushes. These Green Watch garrison footmen, they need to get going. He's carelessly losing troops to archers, which is what you don't want, especially with pikemen. And they still hold true over on this right side. The dismounted Serpent Guard are going to be absolutely challenging trying to kill off in this battle. But look at this monster of a push. Dol Amroth breaking through that gate and saying, hey world, we ain't afraid of you. Now we gotta oh no! He's trying to go in and charge with the warlords of Umbar, but that fails miserably. It's probably smart that he turned out of there when he did, because charging into spears like that would not end well for his cav. Muhad Berserkers swarming up against Dol Amroth, but it's not enough. They need more forces over here. Dol Amroth pushing on multiple flanks. Even if Dol Amroth is losing over here, he's keeping the Serpent Guard occupied so they can't come down and surround the forces charging through the gate. Same thing over here. The Arthedain men-at-arms pushing very aggressively against Castamir's Legion. And they are thinned out. I mean, they've got like 4 guys defending the side, so that's going to be a huge loss there. Because once they kill them, these forces are going to be able to come down here and attack the flank of these Muhad Berserkers, which are holding on by, you know, they're standing on thin ice, basically. They're not going to hold on for much longer, and especially now that they're outflanked, they're probably going to just fight to the death. It looks like it's going to be over for these guys pretty soon. So that's what's going on. So really, what's the strategy now? You know, what are you thinking now? Like, what do these attackers need to do in this current situation of the siege battle? I think all the forces on this side need to quickly rush over and support the other attacking areas, because if they can quickly help their allies, then they can, you know, all attack together on the second tier of CARN DUM. Now, we do have forces defending it, but it's a pretty light force. I mean, maybe you're looking at this. I mean, Clueless only has 2 units defending this flank. Maybe if you're Dol Amroth, you're like, hey, we should, instead of helping out our teammates, let's just keep pushing. And that's going to cause havoc for the defenders and make it easier in the long run for these forces who are attacking over here. But this looks really cool. This whole map, I love the big bridges. It looks fantastic. I mean, look at the architecture here. That looks really cool. Just very evil, very industry, which again, that's basically what Lord of the Rings, the theme is about. It's like nature versus industry. You know, the hobbits were very peaceful, very with nature. They lived in mountainsides, you know, they were very clean, very, you know, one with nature. And then we have the evil side, which was very industry. They had very unnatural looking buildings, very, you know, not very organic, very like steel and industrial looking settlements. And that's basically, I mean, if you think about Tolkien when he fought in World War I, that's essentially, I mean, it's not the first war during the industrial time period. That would actually be the Civil War, the American Civil War. But I think it was really the, like, basically what I'm trying to say here is like the war that it really like blew up. No pun intended, but like the industry absolutely blew up, and they had just these crazy weapons of destruction. You had the machine gun, you had tanks later on in the war. Eventually, you would have like submachine guns, again, more towards the end of the war, not during most of the war. You had rifles, you had snipers, you had chemical warfare, you know, mustard gas, stuff like that, that was just killing people at such ease and at such a high rate. World War I, you know, unfortunately gets outshadowed by World War II. But World War I was actually worse for the soldiers' perspective. World War II was more worse, like, civilian perspective. More civilians got involved with World War II. I mean, they were both terrible. I mean, I'm not trying to say one's worse than the other. They're both awful. But in terms of being a soldier, I'd much rather fight in World War II than World War I. A lot of it is just sitting in trenches, getting, you know, trench foot, and it's just a miserable, having to charge into no man's land. It's a suicide charge. The poor, inexperienced generals that would just, you know, charge their men into such death. It was just a very miserable situation. Anyways, you can understand why Tolkien would write about a theme like that, because of just how horrifying that must have been to see that. And, you know, the way I see industry is neither good nor evil. It's up to the people using it on whether it's good or bad. And in World War I, it was bad. You know, the people using it, terrible things. Humans are very, very violent beings, and it's pretty sad to see such death and destruction. When we can't just work things out, we can't talk things out or compromise, or, you know, it's just. Anyways, I don't want to get on. You know, I don't want to start talking about that. Let's get back to this battle, where it looks like things have slowed down over on this side. I think they're just waiting for their allies to actually break through over here. Dol Amroth now sending forces over, and look, he's sending a massive amount of troops over to support his allies. Now that Dol Amroth is here to support his troops, these forces should start to pour in. They should start to pour in and start to overwhelm. They've got reinforcements now. They've lost a lot of souls over here. A lot of souls trying to push and take this gate, it's going to be tough for these attackers, man. If you look at the balance of power, 32, well, it's actually not terrible. Only 32% of the defenders have died, and 37%. So the difference in percentage is not like huge. So that's good. That's good for the attackers, that is. Not good for the defenders. But there we go, more and more forces. This place has been cleared out. They're gonna push through, they're gonna clear it out. They even have some forces over here waiting for the orders to push at this flank. But that's gonna be the tricky part for the defenders at this moment. They need, oh. They have lost half of that man. But the decision making they have to make here, the defenders that is, what do they need to do? Do they need to concentrate all of their forces and attack one choke point? That's a possibility. It's not a terrible idea. Or maybe they somewhat spread out their forces and attack 2 choke points? Or do they completely spread out their forces and attack 3 choke points? That's the tricky part. You gotta you gotta look over your forces and see what you have and just see what you feel comfortable with. But finally, Cardulin is pushing through the gates, using their pikemen, using their swordsmen. A nice combo there. And really challenging the same combo. We've got the footmen and the pikes from Umbar holding this gate. Beam, beam, beam. So I love the background here of those walls. Looks really great. This whole map looks fantastic. Serpent Guard still holding up here just in case they send up forces. They are sending up some, oh no, actually, no, yeah, they're sending up some swordsmen to take on these Hashari. Trying to take them out. Here we go. Here we go. Dol Amroth, I'm sorry, Arthedain and Dol Amroth are now pushing through the center. And this is when the rest of the forces are going to push and try to break through here. They've got some archers just firing from afar. Look at that. They're going full speed, running on all cylinders here, trying to break through the defenses. And we're not even halfway through this battle, guys. That's the crazy part. There we go. See, he's got his men kind of behind these cliffs here. And now the artillery is firing, going after it. Look at that, going after these troops. Oh, did they lose control of the gates? They did, and the gate closes. Some sneaky defender is like, close the gate quickly, as he gets stabbed, you know, turning the gears or whatever. But the gate is closed and no more reinforcements can enter. The artillery has been holding their fire. Let's see if they fire again. Look at this angle too. It's a little ridiculous. They'd have to have rope holding this back. There we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, that is so spicy. Oh, that was fantastic. And they break the defenders with one epic punch from the catapult. And now that their backs are turned to the archers, they are getting wiped out and running through a gate. What magical powers. So that's a funny, it's not funny, but that's the thing about medieval battles is that actually most people didn't die in the close combat, like the front lines. It was more of like a tug of war. It was a struggle between forces. Soldiers tend to die when they started to run, and they would get trampled by cav or hit in the back with arrows. So in terms of close combat, of course they died in close combat, but it wasn't as there wasn't as many deaths compared to when cav would rout the enemy and trample them down, or archers would fire at them as they were marching forward or retreating. So that's an interesting thing to think about, because Total War doesn't play out like Medieval 2 does kind of play out like that, but the more recent Total Wars do not play out like that, where it's very, very quick. That front line crumbles so quickly, with these forces, which is historically incorrect. It's just not how it played out. Now we got some cav charging in, the mercenary cav. What is he thinking here? Oh man, Cardalin is struggling. They are struggling. Archers holding in reserve. They might have to send up more forces here, but I mean, they are starting to run low, guys. I mean, they've got a decent amount. Some sharpshooters over here. A lot of archers that have a lot of their ammo just waiting, which is smart. You want to try to keep your archers alive for the late game. Keep that ammo, make sure you have ammo for the late game so you can really shoot at the defenses. I'm just surprised that they're sending cav in here to take on some pikemen. I mean, is it surprising, though, that he would send his men to the death with a name like Papa Stalin? One of the worst war criminals in the world? Not to get all political, but I just don't understand how, Hitler is such a no-no name, but Stalin's perfectly fine. The fact that Stalin killed more people than Hitler. I just don't understand the logic behind that. Again, not to get all political and stuff, but so many times where I see in communities, online communities, where it's if your name is Hitler or Papa Hitler, you're banned. But Papa Stalin, welcome. It's that's just the double standard. It's they're both genocidal shitheads, I don't know if you're gonna ban one, which I really don't think you should ban any of them, because it's just the name and you shouldn't really give it weight. But it's why have this double standard where it's just, I don't know. That's just one of my, I don't know. I just like to use logic, I guess. I don't know. Oh man. It's just funny how the world works. You know how they say the victors win the war, or the victors write the history? Of course the victors win the war because they're the victors, but you know what I mean. The victors write the history, and since Stalin was quote unquote with the good guys, he gets a better light in terms of history, even though he was terrible to his own people and to people near him. So I don't, whatever. And don't even get me started on those trials, those Nazi trials. It's wow, if the Nazis are gonna be on trial, then Stalin has to be put on trial. Come on. Even every country has to. Churchill has to be on trial. He committed war crime. The U.S. needs to be put on trial. We put Japanese in concentration camps, basically. These camps, because we thought they were spies. So, I think it's just this silly thing we do as humans. Oh, anyways. This is such a political video now. But yeah, the Cardalin forces are pushing up. They've taken out the Beliger footmen, but they haven't quite taken out the Corsair pikemen. So they need to keep pushing. They need to try to keep going and trying to get around these pikemen and overwhelm them. By the way, guys, I want to make it clear that I don't think Churchill is a bad person. I think there's no way to avoid war crimes during a war. I mean, you're killing people. It's just a horrible situation. I just think it's just kind of silly to have these trials when everybody is at fault, and we just like to put the blame on one group of people as a scapegoat or something. I just think the best thing to do is to forgive and to move on and try to, I don't know, guys. Whatever. Let's just sit back and enjoy this video. Let's just sit back. But yeah, we've got, let's see, these swordsmen taking on the Muad Beast Tamers. I'm not sure what Dol Amroth is trying to accomplish here. He lost a ton of wardens to archer fire. Look at, they didn't even kill anybody here, so it was a waste of a unit. And now they've got a weak force of swordsmen trying to break through, and it's just not going to work out. And even though there's only a small number of defenders, they're going to be able to hold, and it doesn't seem like Dol Amroth is too interested in attacking that side. Now, Dol Amroth is still very healthy. He's grouping up a lot of forces over here and really trying to prepare for the next wave of assault. You can see Arthedain still running out of troops. I think Arthedain's almost out of the battle at this point. The balance of power is now pretty much even. I would say it's still slightly in favor of the attackers, but ever so slightly. 51% of the defenders have died. 62% of the attackers have died. And look at this. They are still struggling to break through here. They've got a lot of reserves, though. I don't know why they're not sending them in. Like, overwhelm these forces. Get them out of here. But yeah, see what, okay, this is good, though. It seems like they're finally going to break through these spears. And did you notice how the spearmen of the Umbar soldiers were defending this gate? They defended it like an angle. You see how my mouse is moving this way? They defended it like this. So that means that they would block off any reinforcements from getting to this side. So this is actually pretty clever. Here we go. Here comes the pikes, the elite pikes. Let's get the job done today, boys. Come on, get in there, clean out these defenders, and let's join forces with Dol Amroth, because it's really up to Dol Amroth and Cardulin. And right about here is, in terms of frames, we are about halfway through the battle. Oh, look at the officer. He's like a doctor, like Phantom of the Doctor opera. One of those plague doctors. And the reason, if you guys ever wondered, oh, by the way, these guys are glitching out. They're looking the wrong way. I wish they would fix that, but you can see the players trying to fix it. But that's a glitch, unfortunately, where the pikes will look the wrong way and show their butts to the enemy. But the reason that plague doctors had the long noses wasn't to look all creepy and weird. They actually had that they would stuff like flowers and things that smelt good, because their knowledge on germs and diseases, they weren't sure like how they like would transfer from people to people, and they thought it had something to do with bad smelling things and good smelling things, so that's why they would stuff it. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Again, I could be, I could have heard that and that's completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's it. Which is close, right? It's kind of like airborne diseases. I mean, good smelling things won't prevent you from getting a disease, but they're on the right track. That's usually how science works. Usually you're not right away, but you're on the right track. For example, we thought the sun went around the earth, and it's like, yeah, I mean, you're on the right track because it kind of looks like that, but it's actually, then we eventually figure out that the sun is actually, quote unquote, the center of the universe. Then we go around the sun. It's like, yeah, that's even closer, but still not 100%. And then we realize, the sun is just like an average star, not that big of a deal, So that's why I personally love science, because it's fluid. You know, it never, like, it states what what we know based on facts and evidence, but is willing to change if new evidence or something comes out that disproves something. You know, like it's always willing to change, and that's how it works. Oh man, we're talking about all kinds of stuff. Honestly, guys, like, in these types of battles, like, what do you want me to say? Like, there's really not much to talk about. It's just, yeah, there's a big mosh pit of death going on right now. That's about it. So now we're gonna talk about the meaning behind Lord of the Rings, and Stalin did things that were wrong, and then we went to science. Like, what the hell's going on? But anyways, these forces are starting to overwhelm the defenders finally, and Cardalin is going to be able to break through and unite. Now the question is, do they go towards the center, or do they go to this flank? There's some forces waiting for him, and they're pikemen, which pikes are going to be pretty tough to deal with, especially at this angle. Oh, he's going down. He's going down to defend. Oh, what is this though? Oh, okay, we've got some archers retreating to the inner defenses. But yeah, no, he's actually going center. He's going center. And the center has actually, they've kind of retreated from here because of the archers. That's why. The archers are now putting down suppressing fire, trying to weaken the defenders. And because of this angle, this hill, it makes it a lot more difficult to deal with. So I think we're at a little bit of a slower part of the battle. So I'm actually going to, I'm going to fast forward here a little bit. Let's see if, because I don't want to cut it out right away, because sometimes I don't like it how, you know, you miss out on troop movement. So we're going to fast forward a tad bit. So Cardalin's still pushing their way over to this side. Cardalin and Dol Amroth still very healthy. Arthedain not quite out yet. He still has some pikemen, and pikes are huge in this type of battle because it is a battle of choke points. And there we go. There we go. So we'll go back to normal speed. So the men-at-arms mixed in with the civilians attacking these crossbow corsairs. And this is really smart. You're probably thinking, well, why would they do that? Why would they send civilians to take on these, like, really easy to kill soldiers? And the reason they're doing that is because the crossbowmen, it's a trap. It's a trap. They're not there to hold the line, but rather hold back elite forces, even for a couple seconds, to let the archers focus fire and really kill the big blobs of them. But since the attackers were smart about it and they sent up weak forces, the defenders are just wasting ammo on them. But they are still firing down. They're going after the attacking archers, some Dunedain Rangers. And now the archer's gonna fire back, try to, you know, give them a taste of their own medicine. Delicious. And now we actually have some forces moving this way. Some halberdiers. 2 units of halberdiers. They're going to soon take on some, well, they're going to take on a lot here. We've got some Haradrim archers. We've got some spears mixed in with pikes. Or actually pikes mixed in with beast hunters. With I think is a javelin unit. And then we got the demons of the desert, which is a very, very elite unit. So even though there's not a ton of forces, it's going to be really hard for these halberds to deal with. And the halberds just might be defending the flank. I'm not really too sure. I don't think they are just defending the flank because they have 2 units. You'd think you could just defend with 1 unit. Also, they're sending over some archers. Boom. That's what you need, guys. Archers. Get them over there to fire. Oh, yeah, lots of archers. And now he's got some Vanguard and I think some Marines. Oh, yeah, look at this. More and more forces headed that way. And I think Cardalin is actually... Look, they broke through. Cardalin might be the one focusing the center now. Okay, this is going to be... I mean, if you look at the balance of power, it kind of shifted back in favor. Look at the percentage killed here. Because the reason the percentage killed switched to a more even number, so 61 to 67 now, is because they surrounded the forces over here and killed them pretty quickly without losing too many of their own. So that's probably why the percentages shift back to a more even percentage between the two forces. And now these troops are pushing up to take on the center position, going in with the civilians first. Very smart move, because you're trying to get the defenders to use their ammo on them instead of your elite forces. They're gonna break the civilians just like that. Again, not a big deal. And look at these guys. They almost seem like they're kind of staying low, you know, as they climb up the ramp here. All right, Dol Amroth confirmed, focusing all of their attention on this side, actually charging in the Herodrum archers against the Dol and Aaron archers. Dol and Ironol archers? I don't know, guys. I can't speak Lord of the Rings. I can't even speak English. Like, what the hell? But yeah, they're gonna try to hold. This is a pretty even battle. They might want to send up some infantry, but this is a little concerning. And oh, look at this. The catapult is actually changing positions. Do they have another catapult? They do not. I don't know, guys. They might have to fall back to the inner part of the, you know, the final tier, because the attacking numbers might just be too much to hold all these choke points. Also, he should be charging up here so quickly. I don't know why he's taking his time, but imagine if he was getting behind these guys. You know, being able to flank around, surrounding these pikes. Because look at these archers are going to rack up some kills. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's the archers and he doesn't want to send too many at once. Oh, they're going to hold their fire. Let's see what's going on with Dol Amroth. There we go. They defeated the Herodrum archers. Now they're going to take their time here. Use the archers to skirmish down the defending forces. So again, we're gonna do ×2 speed just for convenience sake. It is a bit of a slower part of the battle, which Medieval 2 siege battles tend to do this, which is why, you know, sometimes I kind of lose interest because the flow of the battle doesn't really last. But a nice cav charge. He's doing a good job using the cav. He really needs to send up more infantry. I think that's the key, because if you send them one at a time, they're gonna just focus them down. It's gonna be so easy for these defenders. There we go. Now we got some archers pushing up, and because they're archers, are they gonna charge in? This Numenorian shield guard? Nope, they're gonna fall back. These guys look really cool. The fact that they have bows and they also have sword and shield looks fantastic. Are these guys archers? Yes, they are. These are the Royal Guard. These guys are really good. So very cool. Let's go back to Dol Amroth. Once again, they're charging the archers. And the archers are holding them in place. I assume these archers are out of ammo, and that's why they're holding the front line. But because they're holding them, they're able to fire some shots into this blob. Sure, they're going to kill some of their own, but they're also going to kill the enemy. Oh, now they're changing targets. Look at that. Now they're going for the pikes, and they're dropping quickly, guys. The Muhad-type soldiers, I mean, they say they're heavy infantry, but they look like they're wearing very light armor, like leather and bones. So I don't really consider that heavy armor. Again, it's cosmetic. Doesn't actually add to their stats. They might have to send up some halberds to deal with this. But I think he's afraid of the catapult, and more forces are coming to this side. Oh no! What happened? Hold on. Wow. Was that from archers? That had to have been up from archers. Didn't it happen right here or something? Where did that happen? I don't know. Oh, they have forces over here. Could have happened over here. Oh yeah, it did. Here he is. Here he is. He died from archers. How tragic. or something. Javelins? I don't know, but Cardalin now committing some forces over to this flank as well to support this fight, trying to spread out the defenders. And these attackers are just having a tough time. And they're finally doing something that they should have done a long time ago. They're sending more than one unit to deal with these pikes, and hopefully they flank around. And once again, it's just rinse and repeat. These warlords are just coming in and slamming the side of these archers. They've done it all day today. Somebody's got to get going here. Like, you just can't sit back the whole time while, you know, Cardalin is losing so many troops. Come on, send more. Just overwhelm them. Look how spread out they are.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Another attacking force down to 50% of their men. The percentages are even closer. 69 giggity to 74%. Alright. Dol Amroth is just waiting for something. Waiting for something to charge in. Still using archers. Oh, he's trying to burn these catapults. That's going to be it's going to take a long time. Just because he's not even, I don't even think he's hit a catapult yet. Yeah. None of them have taken any damage. I think the best way to take on these catapults, just charge. Just go in. Oh, look at the Black Swan Vanguard. These guys look sick. That's awesome. That is really awesome. He's setting up more rangers. Catapults are now retreating. No, go now. Go, charge now. The catapults are not aiming. Go now. They're moving. But they're not going to go for it. Not going to go for it. Royal Guard now attacking the rear, but they're outflanked by some archers. Dol Amroth has a small force here that have broken. And we got a full-on fight over on this front, where I think Harad is feeling very confident. And once again, these pikes have glitched out, looking the wrong way. That's very unfortunate. These sharpshooters need to open fire. That might be why Harad charged in, because they were getting harassed by archers. And the best way to deal with archers when you have no answer for them is just to charge in and attack the infantry, so the archers don't have as easy of a shot because they risk getting friendly fire. Still a lot, well, not a lot of reserves, but they do have some reserves. Really, this battle is going to come down to Arthedain. And they're slowly moving up archers. Are they still trying to get that catapult on fire? Okay, let's go ×2 speed a little bit just for the sake of the video, because it is a bit of a slower part. And it seems like the defenders are going to hold here. This assault wasn't too well planned. I feel like if they just rushed them and sent everything they had, especially when the catapult left over from this side, they could have overwhelmed these forces instead of letting them fight them one at a time. There we go. Look at this. Now he's setting up his infantry. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Massive Swan Knight charge. Even got some archers up here already opening fire. This is good. Yeah, get him. That big old mace. Now we got the Trollmen of Farad pushing in. Love the rally from Harad. He's got the Demons of the Desert, which is a javelin unit. They've got those really cool javies that look awesome. Trying to go after the archers. Look at that. Oh my god.
Only half the enemy force remains.
Dropping so many of those forces and killing a decent amount as well. Send up more troops. Only half of Sin of the Dark Cloud's forces remain. 78 to 83%. Still very close. The archers are trying to get revenge for their fallen comrades, firing at the backs of the Demons of the Desert. And just like that, Dol Amroth has almost broken through this defense. And I think the catapult has fallen back as well. More and more forces coming around to this side, which is good for Cardalin, because now they can push through without anyone holding them. They also have some pikemen coming around this way to support this fight, which is very close. I mean, this is pretty much going to end in a draw. Some more Marines coming up this way. Why are you falling back? Maybe he's afraid of these demons of the desert. Just push in. Give them hell. See, do they have any force? Oh, they've got plenty of forces. Look at this. I don't know, guys. This is gonna become harder and harder, more difficult for the attackers, because they've got troops ready to stand the final position. And I think they've done all their work. You know, the defenders have done what they needed, and they fell back at the right time, because they injured the attackers so much. Look at that. These guys all falling down from these demons, man. You better hope they run out of ammo soon. Now we got archers firing at the backs of these Trollmen of Harad. These guys are free to move up now. They could, well, oh my god, look at, oh my god. So morbid. This poor guy. It's his twin brother hanging. Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. Alright, so they're gonna flank around, finish up these Trollmen of Harad, and soon we will push, or the battle will push to the final stage of the battle. Alright, more forces coming up this way. They defeated the brave Haradrim who were holding here, the Muhad tribesmen. And now they're gonna group up what they have left. And it's not much, but it's something. And they've got to break through quite a lot of defenders to take this one. And look at this, the warlords of Umbar. Look at the general here. Almost looks like a dwarf from Elder Scrolls, you know, that same kind of dwarven armor. Alright, so we will do ×6 speed and speed her up. Alright, the commander has told his men to go in. And now we have Dol Amroth charging through the gate. And that gate is just cosmetic. It's not really there, but it looks cool. So, yeah, this is going to be the final push, guys. The forces are all set up. They're ready to go. We have a small band of heroes charging on the other side. Some Wardens of the North, and then we've got the Wardens of Tyran Gorthad. Something like that. Tyran. And then more forces coming in this way as well, which is good. It's good that they're attacking on multiple fronts. I mean, this is going to be close. The balance of power is pretty much in favor of the defenders. But still, like, percentage-wise, it's really close. And a 3-tiered siege settlement is very difficult to take on when you're attacking. So much props to the attackers, as they have put on a good show. Especially Dol Amroth. He seems to be doing pretty well. His name's New Player, but it doesn't seem like he's that new. It's all a trick to deceive his enemies. Much of the forces already died over on this side. The catapult moving up. Look at this. What is he doing? Why is he getting so close? I mean, I get why he's getting so close, so he can fire. Let's see if they're actually in range here, if they can actually get an angle on the enemy. Here comes the halberds. I mean, the attackers at this point are outnumbered, but the skill of these warriors, you know, Dol Amroth, they're not going to be easy to kill. Unless you have catapults that fire. Still has some reserves over here as well. Once they clean this side up, though, it's over. I think we've got like small handfuls of troops. Let's see, is there any troops over here? I'm trying to see. There's a red arrow over here, but oh, they're breaking, but they're stuck. But yeah, there's just. I feel like it's over. The fact that if these guys break soon, it's over because, you know, the defenders can defend on one flank. They can even sally out and go around and attack the rear, which is probably why he's got some Haven Guard defending this side. Some archers desperately firing over the walls. Halberds are making some progress. Again, for time's sake, we're going to do ×2 speed. Just because this video is very long. Oh! Where was he? Hold on, I gotta go see. He looked like he was surrounded by enemies. Oh, here he was. He was like pushing deep in enemy territory. Trying to silence the catapult, I assume. And yeah, for sure, as this battle goes on, it's quite clear that the defenders are going to... yeah, we already have players admitting defeat. Seems like the defenders are going to win this one, just based on the balance of power. All of the troops have... looks like they have been committed. He is sending around some halberds over to the other side, just to keep this other side, you know, keep them on edge. Oh, look at these guys. Champions of Nafarat? Words are hard. Words are hard. Here comes the halberds. They actually fall back there. Push, halberds, push. They actually broke through, but now they got to deal with some elite pikemen, or yeah, pikemen. Some marines pushing around the flank. Let's see if they throw a volley here.
Our men no longer command the castle.
Yeah, they do. And look, they're about to get surrounded. And the halberds also gonna get surrounded. Let's see, is this catapult gonna fire? We haven't seen too much catapult action. Look at the halberds. Oh, we have another mid defeat. That's the last of Cardalin. It's all down to Dol Amroth. Oh, these guys are throwing javies right at the flank. And there's no way. There's just no way, guys. So, this was a cool look at the new CARN DUM. I think it's much better than the old version. I think it just plays better in terms of gameplay and strategy and stuff, because there's a lot more places to attack. I think this was pretty balanced. Maybe the attackers needed a little bit more money, or maybe another player or something like that, who only brings like half an army or something, because it was so close that, I think it's pretty balanced. And there we go. The last remaining soldiers fighting to the bitter end. And this is going to be the last couple seconds here. There we go, mid-defeat. And the defenders win. The good guys lose. Loser getting the least amount of kills, 900, just shy of 1,000. And then new player getting 1,200. And Cardalin also, Cardalin is the player who got the most kills on the attacking side, is what I was trying to say. Sin of the Dark Cloud getting the most kills overall and most prisoners. And then Clueless right behind him with 2,511. So if we look at the kills here, I'll just skim through it really fast for you guys. Let's see. Anything that like pops out. 303. 371 by the crossbows. No surprise there. So thank you guys so much for joining me on another battle here in Middle-earth. It was a lot of fun. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, a comment, share, and of course subscribe for more epic battles. Thanks guys, and I'll see you next time.